friends. Welcome to Story Behind Podcast. This is the show for people who love hearing a good story and who believe the world could use more positivity. We're the team behind GodUpdates and God2, and we hope these weekly short stories will brighten your day.
Mom recently diagnosed with autism shares a powerful moment with her son. Written by Heather Riggleman, read by Julie Provost. A mom recently diagnosed with autism shares a powerful moment with her son, and you don't want to miss it. The dinner table was set like any other Tuesday night, plates clinking, the soft shuttle of utensils, and the quiet comfort of home. But that night, something far bigger than the meal was about to be served. Kate Cordelou sat across from her son James, her heart beating just a little faster than usual. She'd been carrying something tender and true, something she knew she could shift the weight he'd been quietly carrying since he was small. She looked at him, really looked at him, and spoke 3 words that would open a brand new chapter in their story. I am autistic. For a heartbeat, the room stilled. The air felt holy, almost hushed, as if even the walls leaned in to listen. Then the surprise broke across James' face like sunrise over a quiet field. Wide eyes, a flicker of understanding, and then tears. I still can't believe that's how he reacted, Kate said later. It surprised me. It pulled at my heartstrings. I wasn't expecting him to become so emotional, but James' heart knew exactly why. With his voice catching, he told her, I got pretty emotional because I was overwhelmed with relief. Finally, I'm not the only one in this family that has autism. For James, diagnosed at 3 years old, this wasn't just news. It was an anchor, a bridge, a whisper that said, you are not alone in this. For Kate, the journey had been one of both discovery and grace. Over the years, the more she learned about autism, the more she began to see pieces of herself reflected back. Like a familiar melody she'd been humming all her life without knowing its name. When the official diagnosis came at 40, there was no mourning, no shame, only relief, clarity, peace. It just made sense, she shared. It gave me understanding for myself and for the way I move through the world. That night over dinner, Kate and James didn't just share a meal. They shared a new understanding of each other. And maybe that's the quiet miracle here. How love has made its way of making space for our truest selves, without apology or pretenses. Kate and James' story pulls us into the light in a world that often pushes differences into the shadows. It reminds us that labels we sometimes fear can actually be lanterns, helping us see the road ahead more clearly. Because when we name something, when we call it what it is, we don't make it bigger. We make it known. And what is known can be carried together. Maybe that's what love really is. A place where we set down our heavy things, look across the table, and hear someone say, me too. And in that moment, the soul exhales. Therefore, encourage one another and build each other up, just as in fact you are doing. 1 Thessalonians 5:11.
For some of us, personal finances aren't just personal. They include loved ones, neighbors, the communities we call home, and the causes we hold in our hearts. At Thrivent, planning your finances is bigger than just money. We help you put your plans into motion and faith into action so you can do more for the ones in your heart. Because sometimes all you need to make a difference is someone to help you make it happen. Thrivent, where money means more. Connect with us at Thrivent.com.
Health insurance rates are surging in America, leaving millions without affordable options. If you're sick of having paychecks eaten up by healthcare costs or dealing with mega corporations, then listen to this. Christians don't need to waste money on a broken system. That's why I want to tell you about Christian Healthcare Ministries. It's an alternative to traditional health insurance at half the cost. With CHM, fellow believers contribute monthly to help pay each other's medical bills. There's no enrollment period, so you can join anytime. And you aren't restricted to provider networks, so you choose the doctors and hospitals you want. It's that simple. CHM is not insurance. It's a ministry that puts faith into action. Feel the difference of financial support and biblical care from fellow believers. Join CHM today by visiting chministries.org/wellness. That's chministries.org/wellness.
One year after her own struggle, Uber driver reaches out to help a stranger. Written by Heather Riggleman, read by Julie Provost. 1 year after her own struggle, an Uber driver reaches out to help a stranger and pay it forward. It was just another Monday for Vanika Neal. At least that's how it began. The hum of her car, the steady rhythm of the road, and her rideshare app pinging with passengers to pick up and drop off. But sometimes the ordinary days are just God's favorite canvas to paint a miracle. When she pulled up to take Alva Poole to her doctor's appointment, Benika saw more than a passenger. She saw a woman leaning on a walker that was too far away. When I looked out the rearview mirror, I saw her pulling the door shut, and then I saw her reaching for her rollator, Benika said. But the rollator kept rolling, so when she tried to reach for it, she went too far over and almost fell. So I jumped up and ran, and I grabbed it, and I pushed it back to her to help her. The brakes on Alva's walker were broken. And though the ride from there went smoothly, something holy kept tugging at Benika's heart, an echo of compassion she couldn't quiet. You know what? Let me be a blessing and sacrifice and go ahead and get her one, Benika decided. A bill can be late, you can always pay a bill late, but a life you can't replace once it's lost. It wasn't just kindness, it was personal. Her mind flashed back to her father, a military veteran, whose own weakened steps had ended in tragedy. My father, he was walking and he was weak with dialysis and different things and prostate cancer, she remembered softly. He walked and he fell, and then the third time he fell, it was a fatal blow for him, and we lost him to that fall. So that Monday morning, instead of another ride request, Benika made a delivery. A brand new walker with working brakes straight to Alva's front door. It's been very stressful worrying about her, whether or not she was going to fall or lose control because there were no brakes there, her husband James said. God still works miracles and touches people's hearts. It's a great place to be. In a world that rushes and strolls past each other, Benika stopped. She saw, she remembered, she gave. And the gift wasn't just a walker. It was a peace of mind, dignity, and tender reminder that God moves through people willing to act. Anything that's on your heart to do, just do it, Benika says now. Sometimes the difference between disaster and deliverance is that just one person decides that the moment matters, and sometimes it's not the miles we drive that change the world. It's the mercy we carry along the way. Do not withhold good from those whom it is due, when it is in your power to act. Proverbs 3:27.
Thank you so much for listening to Story Behind Podcast. We're really glad you joined us for this week's story. To see photos and videos that may have been referenced in this episode, check out the links in the show notes. And if you enjoyed what you heard today, subscribe to our podcast, and please tell a friend about us. We'd also love it if you'd rate us and leave us a review. It really does help more people find us. Story Behind is a Salem Web Network production.
For some of us, personal finances aren't just personal. They include loved ones, neighbors, the communities we call home, and the causes we hold in our hearts. At Thrivent, planning your finances is bigger than just money. We help you put your plans into motion and faith into action so you can do more for the ones in your heart. Because sometimes all you need to make a difference is someone to help you make it happen. Thrivent, where money means more. Connect with us at Thrivent.com.